Okay, so we're Zooming again today, and we are here with Miss Morgan Cromer. Thanks, Morgan, for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to start like we've started all these other ones. We want to hear about, like, how are things out there? What have you been doing to stay busy with all this going on?
Yeah, working mostly.
Mostly working.
Yeah, mostly working. It's been nice to be home. Finish some projects up that we had started around the ranch, but mostly just been working 3-year-olds. One fun thing we've been doing is Philip Rawls has a bunch of my 2-year-olds just across town. So I've gone and got a few every week and brought them over and rode them. So we've got to do a little bit of that. And a lot of them are out at mares that I trained. And so it's kind of one of the first batches of those. So that's been cool. But yeah, just mostly working, trying to finish up projects. But our rule is that we only do projects if we have the supplies on the ranch, so we don't spend any more money. So
that's a good rule. I should probably do that with all of mine, because I've come up with a lot of projects and now I'm like, ooh, I should probably stop for a little while.
Yeah, now we're just spending more money.
It's like, great. You feel really accomplished afterwards, and then you're like, oh, dang it, put myself in a bind. But everything looks a lot better, so that's good, I guess.
Yeah.
But so do you usually get to spend much time with your 2-year-olds this time of year then? I guess not, huh?
No, not really. I mean, usually we're, gone to the Super Stakes for a month and then, back and in and out. And, I mean, there's been the last few years, like I told Philip, he's been hearing a lot more from me than he has ever. Cause, and it's, what is April, of their 2-year-old year. And we're like, how are they working a cow? And, are they, and just putting the heat on it. And I'm like, gosh, poor boogers. If it had been any other year, I wouldn't even have been, on them or seen them hardly at all. So it's been neat to see them and ride them, especially, like I said, being out of a bunch of the mares that we showed. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, so what are some of them that are out of mares that you train? Just curious.
There's the first 2 colts out of Made of Metal.
Oh, that's special.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then I've got one out of TF High Check CD. So those 2 we showed at the same year. Mm-hmm. And then there's a couple more out of Danny's Cool Kitty, of Julie's, and one out of This Kitty Smart of Julie's. And so all those mares that we showed kind of all at the same period that we get to start riding their babies. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's really cool. It makes it more special when you get to see the generations like that and everything, and the similarities and all that. So that's cool.
Definitely. I was telling the guy that works for me a story of the one out of TF High Check CD. So that mare was the mare I made the fraternity finals on, the first one I trained to make the fraternity finals on. Mm-hmm. And her mother, I rode when I was at Scott Weiss's when I was 12 years old. Aww. And so this is 3rd generation. And that mare, Tawny Beachex was her name. And Scott showed her and for Travelers Farms as well. And then I showed the mother for Travelers. And then this is 3rd generation. So that was pretty neat.
Yeah, that is really cool. Sorry, my cat's jumping on me.
Okay. Yeah.
I know.
Tiger King in there.
Well, that's really cool. That's really cool. It always, like I said, it makes it more special. And then to have it, like, I don't know, like you both are working on horses that have meant something to you. So that's neat. But, so usually, I mean, I've seen quite a bit of activity on social media, including your ranch mascot. I liked that one the other day. That was good. But the other day you posted about 3-year-olds. Are you enjoying getting to spend some time with them, some extra time this time of year?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's been good. There's, a couple, 3 of them that were pretty far behind the other group, and got to spend, I've just been doing them twice a day just because we have the time. And so they've been able to catch up, and the main thing has been trying to keep everything fit, and all the older ones fit, and then get these work. But the 3-year-olds have really, I feel like they've come along, but it's so easy when you focus on them. Yeah. They are the focus every day, and they've got to work all the fresh cows that we've had. And so it is really, it's different, but I feel like, like I told them, I said, if we can get ahead on them, then when we do go show now, maybe we wouldn't have to take them to Vegas if we get to go there. They could do with a break after this and not have to take them everywhere. So that would be good too.
Yeah. Well, so since you are getting to be home and working fresh cows and everything, are you focused on anything different with them this time of year than what you normally would be focused on, or is it different at all, or what do you think?
I think the difference is just that I'm focused on them.
Yeah.
I think it's, before it's getting through all the show horses or getting those shown and then trying to get to those. So yeah, I think they feel more mature. I know that, we've spent more time on them ourselves, and even from going and I've been day working a little bit, and I've been taking them, all day working and then coming home and working them, and just special stuff like that they don't usually get to do, and that I enjoy doing on them, that it has been really good for them.
Yeah. Well, so when you do get to go back to show and all of that, you said you might leave some of them at home, but do you think that you'll take them quite a bit still, though?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've already taken them quite a bit this year. But yeah, we have to. I don't have anybody at home to ride them, and so it's they've got to go with us. But I mean, just for at least like a week show, if they need to get their hocks done or something, we could leave some of them home. But definitely they'll go with us, and by that time we'll be feeling the pressure of doing pre-works and everything else here pretty quick. Not far off. It'll come fast.
Yeah. Well, like I was talking to Monty the other day on his Zoom, and I said, well, dang, do you think that the small futurities are going to be a little tougher this year because everybody's going to have pretty solid 3-year-olds by then?
Yeah.
It'll be
I
exciting
think so. That's what I said. I said, it's our job just to keep them sound.
Yeah. Oh, I know. They're so, they're
from getting the road so much.
Yeah, I know, for sure. Well, so speaking of all of that and shows, you guys, the PCCHA, they had a trainers meeting the other day, and you guys discussed like moving forward and stuff like that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was really good. We met and had I think there was about 23 trainers on, and we all just kind of went through and talked about how our business was doing, and in general how the business is doing and what is going to happen on the other side of this. And I don't think anybody can see that. But I was talking the other day with a couple guys, and I'm just like, we want to prepare for the worst, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst, and try to be a team. That's what I want the trainers to be, and we have to be. We're family, and we're a team, and to try to get everybody, okay, this person is struggling because they had older horses and they got to go home. Or this, so just kind of a feel of what is happening out there. And I think, I think it's on one end, we want to be positive, but on the other end, we need to be, realistic, at least with each other, about what this ripple effect of, the financial side of this is going to do to our business.
Oh yeah, I agree. And like you said, I mean, there's so many that, maybe focus on older horses, and then there's, the people who focus on aged events, and then trying to be there for each other and trying to support each other. I think that that's a really good mentality to have, and I know we're all anxious to get back in the show pen, but, you got to think about what's best for everybody, like you said. So
well, and state to state, it's going to be tough. And I've been lucky enough to be on some of the calls with the show producers have been having a call out here, and that's been every Wednesday night. And so I've jumped on every time with them, and, just trying to understand how to restructure things too. And everybody's been really good and said that they don't, feel like they want to slam another cutting, try to, put another cutting in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But to see those people are making, they make their living off of it too. So, there's a lot of us working together, but we just need to keep in constant contact, with each other about, how this is going to look going forward. I mean, it's this way in every business, not just ours, but, it's kind of a point that, we don't really want to talk about but we need to.
Yeah. Well, and, things have kind of come up, like when they'll start, counting money for weekend events and stuff like that. And like you said, state to state, how do you count some, and, when the other people can't travel and that kind of thing. So that's really hard. And so it's just going to take a lot of communication. So I'm glad that you guys are kind of, leading the way on that. So it's good.
Yeah. And Rock's been great. He's been on every one of our region calls with us and kind of let us in on what what they're thinking, and they understand. I mean, and out here we know that, at least 3 of the states along the coast here, Washington, Oregon, and California are going to be probably some of the last ones that open.
Yeah.
Due to a lot of different things, not just cases, but that Washington for sure. But it's just kind of trying to understand how a national organization can handle it. And from what we've got from, Rock, and I've talked with Jay a little bit, they're sure diligently trying to seek a way to make it all work for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's a whole lot to think about, and I know a little bit daunting, but on the positive side of things, we're all like really, really excited about cutting, and we're anxious to cut. That's for sure.
We're like, when's the next cutting?
Yeah, I know.
Can we do a virtual cutting?
Yes, virtual cut. Yeah, I know all the virtual horse show stuff. Have you watched any of that? That's been interesting.
Oh yeah. And the Pacific Coast has done the virtual flag.
Yeah, the flag. Yeah, that's
cutting.
Yeah.
And we've actually got a filming here tomorrow night, so that's going to be fun. Okay. So yeah, we got the flag set up in the middle so you can video, right? So I had to keep up with Rock and Steve. Boy, they had a bunch of them. I was like, geez, guys, get into this, serious.
Yeah, you got to get serious, get focused. Well, so when you do get to go to a show again, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to the most out of, like getting back on the road?
Getting back on the road, I think, is just to just see everybody, and we've all been in touch, but not like we normally are. I mean, we're pretty used to being around each other all the time. So, customers and other trainers and everybody. I mean, it's kind of our little family, and it's I'm looking forward to seeing everybody, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's horses too. Like you said, the 3-year-olds, I'm going to look forward to seeing all those for sure.
Yeah, I know it's steadily approaching like the exciting time when you see all the new show horses and everything, and it's just a lot of fun. I love the fall, so.
Oh yeah, me too.
That should be really cool. Is there anything that you're kind of surprised that you miss from being on the road at all, or no?
No.
some like weird snack or something like that when you stop?
No. I think it's been funny. Like, I mean, obviously we, when we are at Super Stakes for a month and stuff, I was like, this month went by so much faster.
I know.
Being home for me, I mean, it did. I'm not sure if it's that way for everybody, but I think it's just because you're home and you're doing stuff all the time, and I mean, we're lucky, right? There's people that have to be quarantined in a little bitty building, and for us, it's such a beautiful place to be quarantined. So no problems here.
I know. Yeah, that's true. I mean, gosh, I haven't been out to see, but I've heard that how beautiful it is where you guys are. And then everything's nice and green here in Weatherford right now, and so like doing lots of projects, and then we're still getting to work. So I mean, it's pretty
we're
cool,
lucky
because there's so many that aren't, and they're in a bad situation. So we're pretty blessed. But yeah, I guess there isn't any. I'm trying to think of something like weird that I'm looking forward to, but there's just, I think it's mostly the same as you, like just excited to see everybody, and get to see the horses and everything, just everything to do with the show I'm excited about. So
no, for sure.
My cat keeps on.
Your cat again.
She's a lot. Well, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit, because another thing on social media that's been kind of fun, we've all been kind of like keeping busy with different things, but the past memories, they've been fun to see. And I wanted to ask you, what horses like over the years have like influenced you, and then also some runs that have stood out to you that have kind of been super special?
I guess I would have to start with probably like, I think it was the second fraternity finals I went to, and my dad drove us all the way back to Texas to go see it because he wouldn't fly. So we drove back, I think 3 times, and we got to see Paul win the fraternity on Playboys McRae. Mm-hmm. And I was really afraid of Paul. I really wanted to go talk to him, but I was too afraid. I still kind of am that way, but And so that was really cool to see. And I think for some reason that run stands out to me as one of the nights or one of the finals that made me want to show in that building.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's different for everybody on the different runs and different nights of
Mm-hmm.
what, and I watched Gary's run the other day on the Past Memories on Pepto. And so it's really neat. And then I watched, I think that one, and then the other run in that arena that I think Jesse said something about too. I was there when Kathy Don won it on Royal Fletch. And so, those three as a kid, it was like a big thing for me to see. Mm-hmm. So I've always wanted to show in that arena. That was a big goal, just to get to show there, right? Just to get to walk down there was a big deal. And so that was that. And then I think working for Russ, I went to work for Russ when I was 17, day after I graduated high school. Mm-hmm. And my dad still calls it Black Sunday. And I'm like, I don't know why. You live at my ranch now. I think it's fine. But it's I rode a lot of good horses there. I showed up and he was like, here you go. There's 32-year-olds. Good luck, and I got to ride so many good ones. But two horses there that stood out to me was CD Royal. He was just an incredible horse. He was incredibly smart and probably taught me how I want one to feel. And so that horse and Jeep's Posse Traction. So those two horses, and like we tell everybody that the horses are going to teach you more than people can teach you. And it's so true along the way. But that was probably the two that I can think of starting out to be able to ride were pretty special.
Yeah, that's really neat. Yeah, I didn't realize, you hear who everybody worked for and then like, different things over the years, but you don't know like the exact timeline or which horses they rode or anything like that. So that's really cool to hear that those influenced you that much. That's cool.
Yeah. And I think, I said one of the best things for me at that stage was being able to ride that many and have the opportunity that Russ gave me and also to be around Brandon as a child. It was great for an 18-year-old girl to be around that. So you didn't want to have children. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was good.
Oh, Brandon. He's something. Yeah. But talk about an encyclopedia there. That guy, he knows everything about every horse and about every, trainer and like the timeline. That's a guy that knows the timeline.
He was that way since he was 3. He could tell you every horse in the barn when he was 3 years old and how they were. It was fun. We had a really good time though.
Yeah. Always a good time with that guy. And then over the years, what runs like of your own would you say were like highlights, or even if it was a run that maybe didn't go as good, but it like really meant something or was like a turning point or anything like that?
Yeah. Gosh, there's a lot of them I can think of, but there was, and I can't remember. I should remember what year it was. I think it was maybe a couple years out on my own. I had a mare for Todd Bergen, Smooth Automate, and I won a 5-6-year-old on her in Vegas. And all I remember was that I beat Tim Smith, which was a big thing to me. And being able to beat him in a 5-6-year-old was just like, it was like you'd made it, and so that was a big run for me. I still remember the cows I cut, and and I mean, there's just so many, and I mean, obviously winning the Super Stakes, and that was unbelievable. Just something that made you, be able to kind of believe that you could be that person. But I think, I think there's just so many runs that I don't even know where to start, but I think runs, like looking at runs that weren't your own. I was thinking about the other day how cool so many of the Mercuria runs were along the way. I mean, Matt's run on Special New Baby and Don't Look Twice in Idaho. And, and I got to be, seen all those firsthand. And those were, I mean, that's how it was created to be. And that was such a a neat thing that they had done for us, and hopefully keeps going on with some of those opens. But those runs were, unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. Every so often you have to go back and look at Matt's on Baby and Rancho. My goodness, that one was just amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and it pops up all the time. Have you watched Yellowstone? I mean, surely you've watched Yellowstone and everything.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and did you see in one of the scenes where it's in the background? Yeah, that run.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Well,
I know.
It's Matt Gaines. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did you know that actually your win at the Super Stakes was one of my very first interviews and then articles for Cutting Horse Central?
Really?
Yeah. Fun fact.
Yeah. You were probably just as nervous as I was.
Yes, I know. I was like, but no. But you were excited though. You were so excited. It was awesome. I loved it. So
that was a fun night with Kenny and me. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely a good memory. But so I'm trying to think of other little like cool things that they've talked about on those past memories and everything. But I just mostly have just really loved seeing all the runs, and now you bringing up more of them, and then the horses and everything. Gosh, it makes you, I mean, somebody that loves the sport so much, it makes you just kind of like want to go show even more.
Yeah. No, it does. And I put one on a throwback of me showing a DLR in Temecula.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Yeah, and that was really neat, and just to be able to go back through those pictures. I went through a bunch of pictures the other day, and found a bunch of me showing as a kid, and then I found a bunch of at Westfall's place in California, and there was just to be able to have this the hour to be able to do that was pretty neat, to just be able to go through them and remember the horses and all that you rode there. Some of them I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that horse, and so it's pretty cool to be able to go back through all those.
Yeah, all this time that we have right now, it's great.
I know, all you Tiger King people, I hear all about that.
Oh my gosh. Well, and I tried with the Tiger King, and I watched like 3 episodes, and I haven't been able to go back to it yet, but I do like everybody's jokes about them. So
I heard that Jesse was going to try out for the leading role in Tiger King too.
Well, I think that it would be very fitting. I think he'd be ready, as long as he can bring his ponies, then he's fine.
Pony King.
Yeah, Pony King.
King too.
Exactly. That should be the sequel. Pony King.
Pony King.
He's got it covered. Well, Morgan, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I really enjoyed it. And I don't know, I hope that we see you in Vegas. If not, then I hope we see you pretty soon down the road after that. We can get back to this crazy life that we enjoy.
That we all know, yeah.
Yes, I know, our traveling circus that we call life, yes. But I really appreciate you talking to us, and we will be talking to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.